It's Luke Darcy, Triple M's Hot Breakfast in Melbourne. Sam and Chris, great to chat with you both. Can I start by saying congratulations. Extraction is an incredible action movie. I loved it, and I want to talk about, Sam, your directorial debut in a moment, but I might start with you, Chris. It feels like this character, Tyler Rake, is an Australian mercenary, living in the outback, turns into a hero with a heart who saves the day. Almost a perfect role for you, I would suggest.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, look, it was originally, I think the character was American, wasn't it, Sam?
He was, yeah. And
and then I think it was Sam's suggestion to keep him Australian, and I thought, fantastic. I don't have to, do an accent. And then the story started to shift, and we set the scene in the outback and so on. But it was great. It was more action than I've ever been a part of, and the complexity to it, and it was the most exhausting shoot. Yet, as you say, there's a heart underneath it. There's a story. The characters are layered. There's an emotional journey they go on, and we go on with them. So it was pretty unique and special. It's my kids in the background.
Yeah, I love this world, Chris, with Zoom. We're into each other's households and the dogs and the families and everything's going in the background. Hey, Sam, congratulations. Reading about your background as an award-winning stuntman, you've been an actor in your own right, and now to do a feature-length debut film, you must be really proud of the work. And I suppose now that I read your history and see that, some of those action scenes, they are like I've never seen anything like it before. Was that always what you were going to bring to the table?
Thank you very much. That's high praise. It's always a very interesting thing, regardless of being a directorial debut is one thing, but even designing action on movie after movie, you're always trying to look for new ways to show action, new ways to shoot it, new things to come up with it. Because audiences are so savvy nowadays. They've seen a lot of great stuff, and there's a lot of great action movies that came before us. So the biggest task for me was to find a way to portray the action in a unique manner, and we're very fortunate to have an actor such as Chris, because what that did is opened up the playing field. So now we don't have to try to hide a double or shoot in a bunch of different cameras and cut around things. We have someone who can perform, and so we can set the camera back and let the audience see this stuff happen in real time, which is one of the big sequences for us that we tried to do was put the audience right there in the car sometimes, or up and down stairs over buildings right there with Chris as he extracts this kid. And that was, just a choice to have a new point of view from an action standpoint.
And Sam, I'm enjoying this interview already because I'm watching Chris, who can do anything, Hollywood star, life's going beautifully, but like all of us, can't keep his kids under control, which is fantastic. One of the how are you going there, mate?
He's looking at me right at the moment. I'm giving a little sort of one of these ones, doing more and more somersaults. He's getting a little loud.
Hey, one of my favourite moments, and it might have been Sam as a stunt person, perhaps one of the more simple ones, but whether it was shot in Broome, but you look over, it's a very Australian thing to have a little pond of water and a big height, and to go, you know what? I think I can jump off there, and Chris's character casually just jumps 30 metres into the water. Talk us through that one. That was an amazing scene.
Well, that was actually, I think, Chris's idea, because we were trying to figure a fun intro for the character to demonstrate where he is emotionally at that point. And I think it was a combination of ideas where, just is like, well, it's very much in the outback to have some pretty amazing, waterfalls and bodies of water, and it's kind of a thing to do. Hang out with your buddies, have a few beers, and do some cliff diving. And then it was one of those that also mirrored mine growing up of like, here, hold my beer, watch this. So we had a kind of a mixture of ideas that I think did speak volumes towards the character, where he is, and then kind of where he's going. So again, always trying to design action and motivations around what the characters are going through and where they're going. So it's character-driven action.
Can I ask you both? We're all living in this world now of self-isolation. Sam over in the States, and Chris, you up in Byron Bay. How are you coping? What sort of things are you doing aside from Chris struggling to keep his kids under control?
I think we're all in this together. It's a very unique situation across the world, and it's all we can control is our attitude and perspective. And so that's what I'm going to focus on, keeping those two things positive, trying to make myself a schedule so that I stay active and productive, and also to just, it's kind of a forced pause button. You slow down and get to view what is actually important in life. We get so caught up in, I know, Chris, we were talking about this earlier, but running around all across the world from job to job and, just churning out this schedule that's nonstop year after year. And you kind of, next thing you know, you look back and 10 years are gone. And this is a good moment to say, hey, what really is important? And it's an interesting wake up call. And hopefully I will hold on to it, and maybe globally we can remember these things that are important when hopefully things get back to normal, whatever that is, and we move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, same. As Sam said, for so many years, kind of having schedules laid out in front of you, and I'd know exactly what I was doing most days for the next 6 to 12 months, and you're trying to find little holes in the schedule or pockets where you're like, okay, I'm going to switch the phone off for this 2 weeks and have time at home and not travel, or this month or whatever, and then something would come up and then you'd be pulled in another direction. And so to have that, as you say, sort of forced upon you in a way, to find a positive out of that, I'm enjoying the sort of being in the moment, of it as well. And and it's interesting. It makes you kind of evaluate everything. And I heard someone the other day talking about, this extreme scenario of us being isolated. Is this, somewhat of a nod to where we may have been headed eventually anyway, with how much we're on our phones, how much we, all our shopping's online now, where a lot of our communication is via smart devices online, and we're indoors all the time. And do we have as much sense of community and physical sort of interaction in one another's space, and, know the neighbors and so on, as much as we used to, and so if now it's in more of an extreme version, maybe, we can look at that and go, okay, do we want this version of, and I think it highlights how much we yearn to, as I said, collaborate and be a part of a community in the physical space.
Hey, Sam and Chris, I unfortunately got to leave it there. Out of time. I know you guys have got a big day, but I just want to say congratulations, Chris, on the free meditation app as well that you've sent out for kids to help deal with stress and anxiety. And as someone who's been a meditator for over 25 years, it's a great service you're doing. And congratulations, and congratulations to both of you again. Extraction. It's a game changer for action films. Some of the scenes of so unique, and the likes of which we haven't seen before. So great to chat to you both, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, mate. Good to talk to you.